Great scholars, let us deal with our quadratic equations. In the previous class, we've treated perfect squares, completing the square, and also been able to derive the general quadratic formula using completing the square method. And we've solved some problems. Today we're looking at a different aspect, quadratic equations. We'll be looking at the AB is equal to 0 principle. AB is equal to 0 principle is what we want to consider today in our class. Let us consider the AB is equal to 0 principle. It's a simple principle. This principle states that if AB is equal to 0, then A alone is equal to 0 and B alone is equal to 0. That is what the principle states. That if AB is equal to 0, then A alone is equal to 0 and B alone is equal to 0. It's simple. And how do you apply this principle in solving quadratic problems? This principle is applied if you solve your problem and you've arrived at the brackets that you need to find each of the variable in the bracket. Look at this. You have x plus 2 into 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. And you ask to find the values of x, which of course are called the roots. The values of x are also called the roots of the equation. Now, since we have that, our solution, you have x plus 2 into 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Applying your AB is equal to 0 principle, then that will imply that x plus 2 into 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. This will be my A, and this will be my B. So this the first bracket, x plus 2 will be equal to 0. If you solve that, you have, let me quickly equate this next bracket, B will be 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Now, if you finally find the value of x in the first bracket, which represents the A, you have x is equal to minus 2, because if plus 2 leads to the other part of the equation, it becomes the inverse of plus 2. Then here we have 3x is equal to minus 4 leaving becomes plus 4. Then x alone will be what? 4 all over 3. Therefore, the roots of x or values of x are minus 2 or 4 over 3. These are the two numbers that x will be. So this is how the principle is applied. Because if you are using the factorization method in solving the quadratic equations, which of course I need to treat with you also, you will certainly arrive at the point where you have two brackets. But that will not satisfy your answer. You need to apply this principle called the AB is equal to 0 principle to help you find the final values or the final roots of x. Let us see another problem quickly. Another problem. You have this. You have this given. X plus 4 into x minus 5 is equal to 0. Solution. You have to find x, the values of x. You have x plus 4 into x minus 5 is equal to 0. From your AB is equal to 0 principle, then A will be x plus 4 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to minus 4. Then from there, your B will be x minus 5 is equal to 0. And your x is equal to 5. If minus 5 leads to the other part of the equation. So our final answer, the final roots for x are x is equal to minus 4 or plus 5. That's what we have as the result. Let's see another problem. It's simple. I hope you're following this thing. It's simple. Good. Now, let's see another problem here. You have number 2, number 3. Good. You have 2x minus 5 into 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Applying your a, b is equal to 0 principle. Here's my a. We have 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. What will be x? Find 2x first. Minus 5 will leave to the other part of the equation. It will become its inverse. So you have 2x is equal to 5. This implies that x alone will be equal to 5 over 2. Because if you divide both sides by 2, you have x is equal to 5 over 2. Let's go to b. b is 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Making x the subject, I'll have 3x is equal to 4 leaving to the other part becomes the inverse minus 4. This also implies that x is equal to minus 4 all over 3. This is our answer. Therefore, the roots or the values of x are 5 over 2 or minus 4 over 3. These are what we're going to have as our final result. We'll get this as our final result. So I'm going to give you what you do from me. You're going to do this for me. The principle is simple, please. AB is equal to 0 principle is simple. So you're going to do this for me. Do this for me yourself. You do this. Find the values of x or the roots of x. Find the values of x in the following. One, you have 3x minus 4 into x plus 5 is equal to 0. Number 2, you have x minus 6 into x plus 2 is equal to 0. Number 3, you have 2x plus 4 into 3x minus 9 is equal to 0. Number 4, you have 3x plus 2 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. And number 5, you have x minus 7 into 2x plus 16 is equal to 0. You have to solve this for me, please, and ensure you get the right answers. In our next class, we shall be treating a different aspect that has to do with expanding problems of this type and solving them using probably your formula method or any other method in which to use. See you in the next class. Thank you.